Okay, continuing on. Objective number 7, subtotal, outline and group a list of data. You can group and summarize a list of data, a series of rows a series of rows that contain related data by adding subtotals. The first step in adding the subtotal is to sort the data by the field or for which you want to create a subtotal. Okay. Up until now, we've kind of been doing it sort of loosey-goosey. As now we're going to be very specific about how we create a subtotal. Let's see if I can go a little bit deeper, and let's see if we can't talk about it. Okay, subtotaling, outlining, and grouping a list of data. So in this activity, we're going to use Excel subtotal and outline features to summarize the faculty salaries by department. Step number 1, excuse me, display the salaries by department sheet. I've already got that ready. There we go. Salaries by department. And each column has similar kind of information. So all the employee numbers are grouped together, classifications, departments, annual salary, and so on. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to select the range A2 to G29. And then we're going to go and sort and filter it. Okay. Now, this is the way the book does it, and they're very, very thorough in how they do it. So A2 to G29, A2 to G29, basically our whole data set. Then we're going to go to Data tab, Sort and Filter, Sort by 2 levels. Department is going to be our first level, and our second level is going to be annual salary. The second level is not necessary, so that's what I mean about them being very thorough. So sort by department, add a second level, and annual salary. Alrighty, so make sure I'm in the right gosh darn place would be really helpful. And Data tab, Sort and Filter, Sort by the first level is department, add another level, then by, I believe it's salary, and I'm going to go and check. Annual salary, I'm pretty sure it is, yes. So it's by department, and then secondary by annual salary. It's worth noting, annual salary is a field with nothing but values in it. That's worth paying attention to. Okay. So once we've done that, let's actually go ahead and do that first. I'm okay. So all your departments are together, BTSs, CISs, CNTs, CPSs, and so on. And the secondary sort was all the BTSs go from 40 to 78. The CIS goes from 46 to 87. So that's your secondary sort. So now we've got it organized. And what you're going to see me do is, well, what you're going to see me do is read the instructions. So then what we're going to do is going to go to Data tab and the outline group, and we're going to select the subtotal. And it's going to be way, 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 way on the right-hand side. Okay. So, Data tab. It wasn't kidding. Outline group, and you've got group, ungroup, and subtotal. Okay. Now there's a specific way to do this, and if you follow these steps, you'll never go wrong. Okay, so I'm going to talk you through it. I'm going to do the way the book wants us to, and I'll kind of talk you the way I want to. So what they mean by each change in, so the department, all the BTSs, and then it changed to CIS, and then it changed to something else, and then it changed to something else. So that's what they mean by at each change in. Which of these columns did we sort? Did we sort employee number, classification, department, annual salary, primary schedule, darned if I know the rest of it. Secondary schedule or advising hours. So the first thing we sorted was going to be the department. So at each change in department. So my rule of thumb is I always do my sort first, then I click in that column. That way I know. And so my sort is always going to be the subtotal, or the result is always going to be in the column that I sort. It was kind of obvious. Okay. Now, what kind of function do we want to do? Do we want to sum, max, min, count, average? What is the actual calculation that we're trying to find out? Are we trying to find out the total for the salaries for each department? Are we trying to find the total of the advising hours for each department? It can't be anything other than those two columns, because those are the only two columns that have numbers or values in them. Specifically, those two are the only two columns that have numbers or values that can be calculated. That's the magical word right there. So sum is the function, because that's what we want to do. It's find the total for all the salaries for the BTS, and then all the salaries for the CIS, and so on. So sum function. Where do I want the subtotal to go? Or where do I want to do my calculation? It's got to be one of two columns, either annual salary or advising hours. Same reason, because we've done both, both have values that can be calculated. And the giveaway from the book, or the hint from the book, is what was the column was our secondary sort. It was the annual salary. So how do I'm going to go and click on that. Okay. I'm going to leave these three boxes alone, and I'm going to pretend I don't see them. I'm going to pretend they don't exist just for now. I'm going to do it once. I'm going to come back and do it again, and then we're going to go on to the next step. So when you click on the OK button, what is going to happen is, you know what, let's go look. Then I'll explain it. Okay. So what happened was, Excel went and it said, where do you want me to do the changes? I told it the department. So what it did, it said between BTS and CIS, there's a change. So I'm going to go into that. I'm going to insert a blank row. Perfect. And about that calculation. So where did you want me to do the calculation? Again, I've only got two choices: salary or advising hours. And so, of course, they told us salary, so that's why the numbers or the calculations are there. So what exactly it did, if you had to do it manually, it said organize or sort all the BTSs, highlight these cells, and do a sum function. And if you've spent any time with me, you're probably thinking, but couldn't I just add them up individually? Couldn't I just kind of like add up all my BTSs, CISs, my CNTs, my CPSs? Absolutely, but this automates the process for us. And also, what it does, and I never remember which way it goes, the subtotal function either sums all the numbers, it subtotals all the values in the annual salary, all the values in the CIS, all the values in the CNT, all the values in the CPS, and then it adds it, the grand total. Okay, so it says the total of BTS plus the total of CIS plus the total of CNT plus the total of CPS. And how does it know the difference? It knows it because it looks in the formula and it sees the subtotal. There's a lot more that's going on behind the scenes, but that's kind of sort of what's going on. Let's come back and do it again, shall we? Outline, subtotal. I'm going to remove all. So I'm going to do the whole process again. This time I'm going to do it a la book. Putting my insertion, for me, I'm putting my insertion in the department just because I know that's where I want my stuff to be. And then it's going to be data tab, outline group, subtotal, at each change in what? What was the column I sorted? It was a department column. That's the one I selected from here. What kind of function am I going to do? Is it sum, max, count, whatever? So I select the function that I want to do. Where do I want my which column do I want my calculation to be in? Or add the subtotal to, but where is my calculation going to be? It really can be in only one of two columns, annual salary or advising hours. And they told us to sort the annual salary. So it's going to be, I'm going to put a little check mark in annual salary. These three guys, again, I'm leaving alone for now. And okay. And on the left-hand side, you've got something called an outline. And if you click on the number 2, it hides everything but your subtotals. And if you click on number 3, it hides everything but the grand total. If you want to expand everything, there's back to number 1. Okay. So that's what I did. At each change, I selected department. The use function, I selected sum. The add subtotal, I selected annual salary. 2 reasons I knew that. 1, it was sorted, and 2, it was their values. And then, okay, they say deselect everything else. Everything else is fine. We're good. And we clicked on OK. And they want us to go back to home. And A1. Next thing we're going to do, so now along the left-hand side, I've already shown you the outline. And when you add the subtotals, Excel defines groups based on the rows used to calculate a subtotal. So the groupings from an outline are based on your criteria indicated in the subtotal dialog box. We already went through that. You know what it is. Okay. And the outline bar along the left-hand side of the worksheet enables you to show and hide levels of detail with a single mouse click. Okay, so we've hid and deleted. We've expanded and collapsed. And so we're going to go 25. This is the minus, so you click on the minus, it hides. And at the top of the outline area, click on the level 2 button to hide all the level 3. So let's go up to the number 2. And so you're going to hide everything between total and total, or total and total. It hides all the individual records. So I'm going to click on number 2, and that's what it looks like. Okay. And mine looks like the book. So then what we're going to do, of course, we're going to do a group all the worksheets, change orientation to landscape, center the sheets horizontally, and insert a footer that includes the file name. All right. What I'm going to do, I hope you guys don't mind. You've done this enough times. You don't need me to record you how to do that. So I'm going to leave this part to you guys. All right. Yep. It's going to take me no. So I'm going to save it.